Hey everybody, this is the assignment for the week. Uh, it's called Let's Hash It Out. Now, at this point, we've built a hash table. Hopefully you have. And we talked about how the one we built in class was, or online, depending on where you were or when you did it. We talked about how the one we built did not take care of collisions. But I did mention several ways to possibly take care of those. So this project is about simply modifying the one we've already got and making it capable of taking care of collisions. Now, code-wise, this is, maybe 30 or so lines of extra code probably. And I've already talked about kind of how you would do it. So my hope is you can take what we've discussed and basically put it together. Now, of course, the one things you're going to have to change, the hash function will not have to change because you're only inserting one thing at a time anyway. The insert, if there is a collision, add the item to an array list in the location, or even a node if you wanted to use the uh, linked list like we did before. That's perfectly fine. Either way works. Uh, and either way works about the same. You can use the array list. You can use the linked list, whichever you're more comfortable with. You'll just have to adjust the code, if there is a collision. Then you'll have to do this. In the code prior, I believe, our insert looked a little something like this. If it's null, put it in there. Else, there's something there, there's a collision, this is where that code would go. If there's a collision, you'll have to add it to the list. Or if it's a node or something like the linked list, you'll have to go to the next one and see if the next is null. If it is, add it there. There's numerous ways to handle this. You'll have to do it for insert, for find, for delete, and also for display. Find will be the same thing, basically. Delete will be the same thing. Delete if we didn't find it, then it doesn't exist. Else, we'll have to check. If it's the first item in the list, then hooray, we can delete. If it's an array list, you can just straight up delete it. If it's a node, you'll have to delete it and basically move the other node back somewhat, kind of like in the linked list way. Uh, Otherwise, just remove it if it's the first. Well, if it's the first thing, you don't want to delete the whole list. That's the thing. So you have to, if it is the first thing, well, is there anything after it? No, remove it. If there is something after it, you'll have to juggle it if it's a node. If it's an array list, I don't think you actually have to. You can just remove it and everything kind of bumps back. That's why I said an array list is going to be a little bit easier here. But if you feel less comfortable with it than linked lists and that sort of thing, then it's perfectly fine to use the other instead. Finding, well, we check. If it's null, there is nothing at that location, hopefully. If it equals, we found it. Else, it should be there, but it's not, so we may have to go down the list and see if it's there. So in this case, is there something after the first one? There is. Check it. Is that it? Nope. Next one. Check it. Basically a little loop that goes through until you find it. Display, same thing. We go through. If it's not null, the only difference here is how big is it? Print it across. Go to the next one. Print it across. Or honestly, the way this is set up, you can print it vertically if you want. This is at location this is at location 5, 5, 5. You'll just see multiple things at the same location. And the easiest way if you're inserting stuff is just to use the same letters. Bob, Bobo, Bob. You know, as long as they're the same letters, they'll hash to the same thing because we use a very simple hash function here. And that is basically it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. But basically, you're taking what we've done already and just adding a little bit to it. If you do it one at a time, you should find it much, much easier. I would suggest this order here: insert, find, delete, display. And once you've got insert and find, uh, delete, display shouldn't be that much harder. And display will be the easiest if you've made it that far. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck.